If this is your first time on my channel, welcome Red Heart. I try to give you really good content every day. If you like it, subscribe now, so I know you're on my side. Former Hollywood star Heather Loer captivated audiences with roles in Melrose's Place and Money Talks. Her beauty and talent made her a star of the 90s, but behind the scenes her life was anything but glamorous. Struggles with addiction, personal turmoil and heartbreaking decisions have overshadowed her once bright career, but the latest news about Lee reveals something even more devastating. What happened to the star who once had it all in the early 2000s? As Lair's star began to fade, the once beloved actress found herself grappling with demons that would ultimately take a heavy toll on her career and personal life. The pressures of Hollywood combined with her personal life challenges seem to have created a storm that Lair couldn't escape. Friends and family watched helplessly as she spiraled into a cycle of substance abuse and mental health struggles, leading her to check into rehab multiple times. Elle's journey through rehab has been anything but easy. By 2019 she had entered treatment facilities over 20 times, with each stay offering a glimmer of hope that this time things would be different. The cost of these repeated attempts to regain control of her life was not just financial but also emotional, leaving those who loved her in a constant state of worry. Lair's battles weren't just with substances like alcohol and pills. She was also fighting a mental health war that had plagued her for years. In 2008 the actress checked into the Sierra Tucson treatment facility in Arizona seeking help for anxiety and depression. The weight of her struggles was evident, and while she sought privacy during this time, the public nature of her life made it impossible to escape the headlines. Her representative at the time stated, "There is no statement and we will not be commenting about Heather's location," in a bid to protect her from the media frenzy that surrounded her. But the pressures of living in the spotlight meant that every step Lair took was scrutinized, every misstep magnified. The actress who once graced magazine covers and red carpets now found herself the subject of tabloid stories detailing her decline. Her struggles with anxiety and depression were well known, but the depth of her pain was something she carried privately, away from the prying eyes of the world. Relationships too became a source of heartache for Lair. Her marriage to MLE Crew drummer Tommy Lee in 1986 was a highly publicized affair, with fans enamored by the unlikely pairing of the rock star and the Hollywood actress. But beneath the surface the marriage was fraught with difficulties. Despite Elle's hopes that her union with Lee would last, by 1993 the couple had divorced. Reflecting on the breakup, Loer admitted, "I'm not devastated or destroyed, it's mostly just sad." The sadness she felt, however, was more profound than she let on, as it marked the beginning of a series of tumultuous relationships. Not long after her divorce from Lee, Lair found love again with Bon Jovi guitarist Richie Sambora. The two married in 1994, and for a time it seemed that Lair had found her happily ever after. They welcomed a daughter, Ava, and for over a decade they appeared to be the picture of a perfect Hollywood family. But behind the scenes cracks were forming. In 2016 Lair shocked the world by filing for divorce from Sambora, a move that caught even him off guard. "This is a private matter and there will be no further comment at this time," her representative stated, leaving the public to speculate on what had gone wrong. The end of her marriage to Sambora was a turning point for Lair. The heartache combined with the pressures of maintaining her career and the ongoing battle with her mental health seemed to push her further into a downward spiral. By 2018 Locklear's struggles had reached a breaking point. Reports surfaced that she had refused help from those closest to her, leading to a tragic series of events that left her isolated and vulnerable. Heather requires medical and mental health assistance, as a source stated that drug rehab is not enough. She requires diagnosis and treatment for underlying mental health issues. Locklear's refusal to seek help was heartbreaking for those who cared about her. Friends and family were desperate to see her get better, but they knew that the decision had to come from Locklear herself. The actress, once a beacon of strength and beauty, was now a shadow of her former self, battling demons that were far more formidable than any role she had ever played on screen. Despite the darkness that had enveloped her life, there were moments of light. In 2020 Lair celebrated her first year of sobriety, sharing her milestone with her followers on Instagram. "Hugs will come later. 1 year sober today," she wrote, a triumphant declaration that she was finally taking control of her life. But the road to recovery is never straightforward, and for Locklear it was filled with challenges that tested her resolve at every turn. Lair's journey through addiction and recovery has been marked by both public and private battles. In 2018 she posted a poignant message on Instagram reflecting on the toll that Addiction had taken on her life. Addiction is ferocious and will try to take you down. Recovery is the best revenge, she wrote, offering a glimpse into the struggles she faced daily. But even as she celebrated her sobriety, there were signs that the battle was far from over. In July 2023, reports surfaced that Laer was once again struggling with her sobriety. A source revealed that she had been drinking and had expressed a desire to return to rehab but had not yet taken the step to seek help. The news was devastating for those who had been rooting for her recovery, and it raised concerns about her well-being. Laer's erratic behavior, including a disturbing incident where she was seen walking along the ledge of a building in Malibu, only heightened fears for her safety. An eyewitness described the scene as very strange. The behavior of Laer, who was once surrounded by fans and fame, was shocking and deeply concerning. Friends and family were left wondering what could be done to help her. Laer's daughter Ava remained a constant source of support. Ava expressed her admiration and love for her mother, expressing her desire to follow in her footsteps. Heather's life was already challenging, but a close friend's betrayal was unexpected. Denise Richards, a friend of Laer, became a source of pain when she started dating Richie Sambora, Laer's ex-husband. Laer and Richards were neighbors and shared a bond through mutual acquaintances, including Charlie Sheen, who had worked with Laer on Spin City. The betrayal resonated with Locklear, who was dealing with the uneasy aftermath of her marriage. Sambora. While it's believed that Richards and Sambora didn't start their relationship until after Sambora's divorce, the timing couldn't have been worse for Laer, who was still reeling from her own breakup. The emotional toll of seeing a friend with her ex-husband was palpable, and the strain it caused was enough to dissolve the friendship. Richards, for her part, tried to downplay the fallout, insisting in interviews that the friendship had already cooled before she and Sambora became romantically involved. We were friends and we were both going through divorces, and that's what drew us to each other. I did not steal someone's husband, Richards stated, trying to clarify the situation. But for Loer, the damage was done. As if her heartbreak wasn't enough, Locklear's personal life continued to spiral into chaos. Her relationship with Chris Heiser, a high school sweetheart she reconnected with years later, was tumultuous from the start. Despite the romantic notion of rekindling an old flame, their relationship was fraught with volatility. In 2018, Laer was arrested on domestic violence charges after an incident at her home in Thousand Oaks, California. The situation escalated to the point where her brother, unable to control the chaos, had to call the police. Reports of the night paint a disturbing picture. Laer, in a fit of rage, physically assaulted Heiser, leading to her arrest. The Ventura County Sheriff's Office involved in the incident noted that although Laer claimed to be injured, no signs of injury were visible. We determined she had battered her boyfriend. Sheriff's Office Captain Gu Kian commented the incident shocked those who knew Laer, with many close to her expressing concerns about the state of her mental health and well-being. A source close to the actress reflected on the relationship, stating they rekindled their relationship a little over a year ago. We're not sure how good they are together. Despite the rocky start, Laer and Heiser managed to stay together, trying to build something stable out of their chaotic past. But the road to recovery for Laer was never smooth, and the support of her friends and family was crucial during these dark times. Laer's parents in particular remained a steadfast presence in her life, doing everything they could to help their daughter regain control. Yet even their unwavering support couldn't always prevent the downward spirals that seemed to grip Laer every time she appeared to be on the mend. And the actress, once the epitome of Hollywood glamour, had become almost unrecognizable to those who had known her in her prime. The Heather Loer who was always prepared, professional and beloved Onette had been replaced by someone struggling to hold on to her identity amid the chaos that her life had become. One of the more minor yet still troubling incidents in her life occurred in April 2010 when she was involved in a hit-and-run accident. Thankfully no one was hurt, but the events still made headlines, adding to the narrative of a once beloved actress whose life seemed to be unraveling. The incident involved her black BMW sedan, which was still registered in both her and her ex-husband Richie Sambora's names. The car had collided with a parking sign, causing minor damage. While the accident was not severe, it attracted media attention, which Laer likely found unwelcome during an already difficult time in her life. Ventura District Attorney Gregory D. Totten confirmed the details in a statement, noting that there was insufficient evidence to determine who was driving the vehicle at the time, resulting in no criminal charges being filed. Locklear's romantic life also saw its fair share of turmoil. Her relationship with actor Jack Wagner, her co-star from Melrose's Place, was one of the more high-profile ones. The two had known each other for years, and their professional relationship eventually blossomed into a romantic one. By 2011 they were engaged and planning a future together. However, the pressures of planning a wedding coupled with concerns about how their marriage would affect their children led to the couple calling off the engagement later that year. Wagner Ever the Gentleman handled questions about Loer with grace during a 2018 interview with Entertainment Tonight when asked about his former fiancée during a time when her struggles were widely known. He responded, thoughtfully acknowledging that everyone faces challenges in life. We all have our struggles, he said. We all do, and some of us handle them in different ways. We either really work at getting well, and it's just about when you make that decision to do it. Time will tell. His words were a reminder of the ongoing battles Laer faced even as she tried to find stability despite the many difficulties Laer has encountered. One of the most enduring and positive aspects of her life is her relationship with her daughter Ava. The bond between mother and daughter has remained strong even as Laer navigated her own personal demon. Ava, who has struggled with anxiety, has often spoken about how her mother has been a source of unwavering support in a world where so much of Laer's life has been chaotic. Her role as a mother has been a constant. Ava credits her mother with helping her manage her anxiety, particularly during a difficult period in 2019. Despite the physical distance between them, Laer made sure to be there for her daughter, offering comfort and guidance whenever Ava needed it. Any time of the day she would stop what she was doing and come to comfort me, Ava shared in an interview. When I would insist she did not have to, she would stay on the phone with me late into the night until I was calm enough to sleep. This close bond between mother and daughter, forged in the fires of personal struggle, has provided a source of strength for both women. Even as Laer battled her own issues, she made it a priority to support Ava, showing a side of herself that was loving and nurturing even when her public persona was faltering. Ava's appreciation for her mother's efforts is evident as she spoke about how Loer did everything she could to help her through difficult times, from taking her to doctor's appointments to giving her books on managing anxiety. Heather Loer's life has been full of emotional ups and downs, including the heartbreaking loss of her father Bill on June 12, 2024. Heather, who posted a heartfelt tribute to her father on Instagram, described him as the most brilliant man she had ever known. She expressed her pride in being his daughter and her deep respect and admiration for him. Bill Laer, who had been hospitalized earlier, was also ill. Heather celebrated her father's 90th birthday with a touching video tribute, calling him her hero. Her supportive father responded with a loving message, reflecting their deep connection and their shared happiness. Heather faced the reality of losing her father, a significant chapter in her life. Heather viewed Ava's engagement as the second best day of her life, after her birth. Her father continued to support her through career and personal challenges, even as she passed 60 in 2021. Heather expressed her joy in aging, attributed to her parents' love and support. She also discussed her career challenges in Hollywood, despite the industry's dismissal of aging actresses. Heather's 2021 TV movie role in Don't Sweat the Small Stuff was seen as a comeback for her acting career. She approached the role with the same determination as before, proving she still had much to offer. Her journey through grief and fight for her career showcases her resilience.